Soundly has a free plugin called Place It. Tim Nielsen, sound designer, said Soundly has released a free plugin called Place It that takes their speakerphone-ish part out of their text to voice and makes it into a free plugin that is going to be super handy. I'm going to go over to getsoundly.com/tools. If you don't know, Soundly is a sound effects management software similar to Reaper's Media Explorer. Integrates really well with Reaper as well, but it's also a subscription to a sound effects library. It's a free version, paid version, if you want to get a bunch of sound effects to fill out your library as you're working on a particular job. It's one good option for that. So Place It is a free plugin that lets you put your sound into some sort of device and then into some sort of space. So here it is, Place It by Soundly. What kind of sound should we get? How about a gunshot? So there's you heard the clean gunshot. And here it is playing through in-ear earbuds in a basement. And let's phone loudspeaker. And we'll have that in the kitchen. So we can dial in the amount of the speaker. And how much of the room. So it's like a speaker emulator and a reverb. Oh, and so I thought this was a proximity to wall. It's actually how much, what's the word? There's a specific word for this. It might be occlusion. Okay, so let's do a radio announcement. No, let's do an announcement speaker. And let's do a outdoor between buildings. And let's just check the effects parameter list. Speaker, speaker active, speaker amount, wall, space, space active, space mix, reverb length, bypass, program, bypass, wet, delta. So program, what is program? Probably the presets. So there's a bunch of presets here, has its own preset management. Plus you can choose any of these combinations. It's pretty cool. Let's take a drum loop. How do I not have an amen break? Okay, let's take that. I feel like it's still too much bass for a laptop, but at the same time, it does feel fairly realistic. Like if that's a laptop, that's a pretty good sounding laptop. Here's a neighbor's radio. So yeah, only thing we need to add to that is, I should just use Fast Effects Finder. BX, what's that bass one? Maybe I don't have it, actually. I don't have it. Okay, so let's do unfiltered basement. Put that before that. Super fat bass. Yeah. This is what my neighbors hear. My neighbors are listening to drum and bass today, whether they like it or not. So yeah, Soundly Place It. Useful tool for post-production. Putting what you see on the screen and making sure that like sound effects, library stuff sounds like it should without the hassle of actually recording it in that space. Pretty cool. Pat says this could be really cool for sound design. I can imagine a lot of creative effects already. Absolutely. Dialogue editing where you got to put it into, you got to make that voice sound like it's coming out of a speaker, coming out of the TV, that sort of thing. This is a good way to do that. Speakerphone is kind of like the industry standard $400 library of impulse responses, essentially like filters for speakers and ways to distort that, and also putting those things in spaces. Another one is Futzbox by MicDSP. I have that, but I haven't bought the update for that yet, so it won't run on my Mac. Other than that, like just like Fog Convolver and any like convolution reverb can basically do that as well. You might just want to use two of them, one for the filter and one for the space. And I kind of want to make this sort of thing. I mentioned this last week with the small speakers. I want to do this sort of thing. I've got 3 sets of small speakers now that I can do this with. Place It by Soundly. Worth picking up. I think it's useful. Maybe you won't use it for music, but intro, outro sort of thing, or breakdown could be useful there. Other alternatives, but it's free and seems well designed. May as well.